speaking of issues, I got issues, and my issue is I need more Husey. I need more hot news and headlines and allegedlys. What else do you got on the docket today?
Well, we were talking a lot about WrestleMania 41.
Yes.
One match you definitely will not see at WrestleMania for obvious reasons, which is a shame because I think this could have been excellent.
Yeah.
They had planned for Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed. Obviously, that match is not happening because Reed, stupid fat, jumped off the top of a cage, and shockingly, a 400-pound body is too much for a ankle to handle. Who could have predicted that? I'm stunned.
Or two ankles to handle, for that matter.
This is stunning.
Yeah.
So
Imagine gravity being a thing, and
who could have predicted? Oh no! I thought it would have been lovely. I thought it would have came all over the floor. Hello, Jade Cargill and Lita, by the way, if you're watching. So so that was the plan to lead into WrestleMania. I would assume it would then lead to Breaker winning the belt from Reed winning the belt from Breaker, which I think is a huge shame because I think that would have been an excellent match to see, especially the way they were both being used as characters.
Right.
And the third story.
Okay.
And this goes back into when we mentioned earlier about the Punk and Danielson stuff about being available for AEW and all that.
Okay. This is the good stuff.
Allegedly,
guys. Okay, allegedly.
Brock Lesnar is officially not under contract to WWE.
Ooh.
So, did
the time expire? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Did the time on his contract expire, or?
Well, you know what? The fact that you interrupted was so offensive. I'm not going to tell you. Goodbye. No. So basically, his contract was when he came back. He signed from 2021 to 2024.
Okay.
For big money, and obviously with him being linked with the Vince stuff, whatever you want to read into that.
Yeah.
If he were to come back, whether he was proven innocent or not, WWE would have to then raise above that contract that he was getting, which as I've revealed on the show before, is that if you're a Vince McMahon guy, you'll get a big contract with a huge sort of merchandise percentage and bonuses, all this kind of
right.
So if Lesnar were to come back now, that means that Triple H and the guys would give him the same or more, which would then mean everybody else could start asking for the same. So from what I understand is that as of right now, Brock Lesnar is a free agent. If AEW were to sign him, I have no idea. They could. I really doubt it. But right now, Brock Lesnar is not under contract to WWE.
But dude, and who throws around the money?
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Who would say, "Hey, I'll give you $6 million. I want you to lose to Kenny Omega at All In." Who do you
Brock,
think?
how about a dream match for you versus Chris Jericho? We could talk about stuff that happened 27 years ago. $7 million a week.
Yeah, a backstage fight, and actually Jericho will do a blade, and we'll do it next year. I have a new gimmick. It's like Time Cop.
I'm a time cop. I go through the past to kill wrestling marks.
Oh my God. So, okay, we know Lashley was on like a 3.5 or whatever million with Vince. We know he's probably getting paid that much or more with Tony Khan.
I heard 4 is what I've heard that what Lashley's getting now. Which, what a loser. What a loser.
Oh my God. So Brock Lesnar in WWE was getting like how much?
Oh, he had to have been getting 3 to 4 to 5 million per year.
So do you think Tony Khan coughs up 6 million for a year?
I genuinely think, and this just goes back to, I remember here, Keep 100 got an email about this where Roman Reigns' contract with WWE it runs out in 2025.
Mhm.
What's stopping Tony Khan with all those billions to say to someone, here's a $100 million contract. Just come here for 4 years and we'll give you $25 million a year.
Yeah.
He could afford that and it's not going to affect his. Like Tony Khan, I know people hate the reality of it all, is
Yeah.
worth billions.
Right. This is, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, 100 million is nothing to him. He
Right.
could easily give away 100 million and he's still going to be a multi-billionaire for decades to come.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell everyone. Like, I get it, people. Oh, why does WWE put WBD put this show on the air? And when are they gonna? It will. If TNA survived by being on Destination America and the Pop Channel and all this, AEW will live forever, bro. It won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Tony will buy a TV station and just call it the AEW channel, and he will just start airing his own if he has to. There's no end to this. He has infinite money. His dad has infinite money. And exactly like you said, what's to stop him from going, okay, Brock, 10 million with a, like, for 2 years with like the second year's an option. You can pick it up if you want. 10 million. We want you to main event All In, and we need you to make 12 appearances. Once a month, you got to show up and do something on TV.
Yeah, and we're getting to that point where, like, we've, like, allegedly, Jericho and Moxley, or whatever, what was his WWE? Oh, Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, yeah.
We're both in talks to return to WWE in 21 or 22. I can't remember exactly, but they were both in talks to come back.
Yeah.
Then obviously Tony Khan was like, right, $5 million a year.
Yeah, dude. I think Jericho has shares in the goddamn company too. I'll give myself an X-Files for that, but that's my belief. But anyways, though, yeah, he just said, okay, Mox, you get 5 million. And then you get to beat Punk.
Yeah, by the way, if I could just interrupt, if anyone's listening to this, of course, after Christmas, this is a Christmas special. There's a DJ called Robert Miles, and he was massively popular here during the 90s. He did a dance music version of the X-Files theme song, so go check that out on the 26th of December, and not before, or else I'll kill you.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft, I will kill your
parents. 6, he will get,
exactly. So, what did we talk? Oh, yeah. So basically, Tony Khan basically said to them, $5 million a year or more, and he to re-sign them because, allegedly, allegedly, the original plan before all things went for SummerSlam 22,
yeah,
was supposed to be Reigns versus Moxley.
And they were going to bring him in as Moxley, too. They weren't going to switch him back to Ambrose. He was going to come in as Moxley.
But yeah, very likely. So it was going to be Reigns versus Moxley. That obviously fell through because of the contract. Then they resorted to Reigns versus Orton. That fell through because, well, Orton's spine fell through. Then they were, I don't know if you knew this, they were going to do Reigns versus Rhodes. But then Cody tore his tit or whatever you call that.
Yep.
So then they ended up doing that, and that's why Reigns versus Lesnar just happened like right out of the blue because it was sort of like, well, what the fuck are we going to do here?
Yeah.
And it ended up being with that. So there you go. So that is why the idea of him giving a $100 million contract is not crazy.
Right. It's something that could happen. It's within the realm of possible. Now, does he do that? I don't know, because now he's starting to go, okay, we're going to run smaller buildings finally. Oh, Dave Meltzer came up with a great idea. Now we're allowed to do it. Now we're allowed to run smaller buildings. And ultimately, it's not like he cuts costs in one spot and then doesn't go, I'm going to splurge for Brock Lesnar. And I could see him making a play for that. He did make a play for Goldberg We know that. He did make a play for it. Goldberg thought he was kind of goofy, right? How much money is he willing to give Goldberg? We don't know. Let's say as well he's got 20 million, because if we're talking to 20 to 30 to 50 million, okay, let's say he tells Roman, I'll give you 10 million, and he tells Brock, I'll give you 10 million. Come in. What's to stop them from doing that? What I think would stop them from doing that, let's say someone like Roman, would be the fact that The Rock owns or is on the board of directors, and he would probably try to entice and tell Roman, no, stay here. And I think they just give them investments or shares or something like that. Brock, I don't think WWE's worried if they were to lose a Brock or even a Roman, because again, nothing's bigger than WWE. Now, would Brock get them 1 million viewers? Maybe on the first time he showed up, but then I fear it would just fall back into more of the same, or maybe enough people have given up on it. And I don't know. I think Roman just being related to The Rock would convince him to stay regardless of however much money. I think they just give Roman a piece of the company or give him a seat on, so they just give him a job for life somewhere with Endeavor, TKO, or whatever. But as far as Brock, Husey, let's say they do scoop up a Brock, and we know he made a play for Goldberg, so we know it's not outside the realm of possibility. Do you think Brock comes in and the ratings change and they go, oh my God, we get Brock versus Lashley, 1 million viewers every week now? Or do you think it just doesn't matter at all? Like maybe they do a few better houses because Brock's on the card? Or do you think, it's just because Brock's not going to come in there like Shelton Benjamin just lost clean to Daniel Garcia on Collision. Okay. Do you think Brock's not going to come in there and lose to any of these guys? He's not going to even around and let Fletcher have one of those matches where it's like 50-50. He's not going to do that. He's just going to be like, no, I'm going to suplex this guy 400 times and pin him. So I just don't know if he would work in that environment and that sort of culture. But if he did, I mean, the Young Bucks would be, because whatever Brock says goes in that company. You said it was cliquey, allegedly, right? We don't know, but people backstage might have said it's cliquey back there, like a high school. Brock wouldn't click there. He'd just come in, do his own thing, leave. But I think that would rub people the wrong way there. And no one's going to say to Brock, you just destroy them. It's not like Punk where you're going to storm his locker room with 4 people, allegedly, and get in a fight. So how do you think he would fare in an AEW? And do you think he changes the ratings or anything about their business?
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize for the long toilet break. And if Leda or Jade Cargill are listening, that's because it takes a while to put this thing back in its cage. So DM me, ladies, you couple of whores. But also, I think that with Lesnar, we've got to the sad point where he will change ticket attendance for about 2 months, depending on how many shows they have on sale at the time of his debut, and then that's it. Because who's he going to work against? Like they could, I suppose, they could do a rehash of the Lesnar versus Moxley thing, because they had that real life hate there. But I just think, frankly, I think it's better for everyone if Brock Lesnar doesn't return to wrestling. Full stop.
Okay. Why do you think it's better if he just stays out of things? Because it's going to drum up all the controversy again, or you just think it's like whatever, it ran its course, or what?
No, I just think that basically it's got to the point where who does he work with, and how do you book them against him while protecting them? Like if he comes back and wrestles, say Jacob Fatu, if he comes, that's going to expose the fact that Jacob's not very tall or big. It's like so then Brock Lesnar throws him around the ring and all this and all that stuff, and then what? So what, Jacob has to start from scratch and needs to be rebuilt and all this. I think, and I've got to be honest, Brock's one of my all-time favorites. Maybe don't have a list, but in my top 5. But I think it's best for him and the wrestling industry that he's done. Like, I don't know what he has left to offer.
Yeah, there's some speculation that we could see like a Brock Lesnar show up in a UFC again as well, which I just don't think he's ever going to do. But Dana White's talking all this about 2025 we're doing something you guys won't ever expect, and I'm predicting it as something to do with maybe a Brock Fedor thing, or maybe Jake Paul finally actually, or maybe Francis comes back or something.
So does that mean that in 2025 UFC announces a card and they actually stick to that card?
Maybe, who knows? Allegedly.
Yeah. Listen, there's a couple of real men talking about real fights. Yeah. Come on, you bitches.